All right, in this video, I'm going to be doing a beginner tutorial for Prospio. So if you are considering using the platform or want to figure out what the platform does, then you are in the right place. So what I'm going to be covering in this video is what the platform is and what it does. I'm going to cover some of the features of the platform, so all the different tools inside of it. And then I'm going to be showing you a real world use case using the Chrome extension and using it inside of Clay, which is my preferred way of doing it. So jumping in, this is Prospio. What Prospio is it's a data enrichment tool, meaning it's not a database where it stores a ton of data. It's an enrichment tool. So you provide data to Prospio, for example, first name, last name, and company website, and it can output a lot of things like their emails, other emails at the company. You can find mobile phone numbers of people. So for example, if you have a contact and you're trying to find their mobile phone number, this can be a really useful platform. It can help verify emails, and it also has a Chrome extension. So jumping in, I'm going to jump into their platform. And by the way, I have an affiliate link. So if you want to sign up to Prospio, if you use my link, you get 30% or 20% more credits. I think it's 20%. 20% more credits in the first 3 months. So if you're going to use the platform, might as well use my link. That's a shameless plug. But anyways, jumping into the platform, you can see it has a few tools here on the left-hand side. I'm going to go top to bottom. So the email finder, if you go over here to unique finder, what you can do here is plug in someone's full name and their company website, and it can output their domain. So as an example, if I put in my name, Matt Lucero, and I put in my company's website, anivomarketing.com, and I press find email address, you can see it found my email. And so if you're trying to find specific emails for specific people, this can be very useful. You can also do this in mass. So if you want to upload a big list of people's info and you want to find their emails, as an example, let's say you want to export your CRM data and upload it into Prospio, it can help you find more emails. And so you can upload a file and then you can do this in mass. So that's just one of the features. I prefer to do this in Clay, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. The next one is the mobile phone number finder. So again, you can plug in someone's LinkedIn URL. You can find their mobile phone number. Same thing with the bulk finder. You can do this at scale. Again, really common use cases if you have a CRM, or if you're trying to do a cold calling campaign, you can get a list from any major data provider like Sales Navigator, Apollo, or anything like that, or even Clay, and then you can use Prospio to find their mobile phone number data. Moving on here, saved leads. This is if you want to build a list. This is also useful if you're scraping directly from Sales Navigator, which Prospio lets you do. And then domain search. So this is useful if you want to find all the different emails on a company's domain. And again, this is useful for a couple kind of more niche purposes, in my opinion. One way that I like to use this is for companies that are smaller and are more blue collar. For example, like an HVAC company, you can use this to find emails because it's really hard to find decision maker emails because they might not even exist. So as an example, if there's Tom at tomsroofing.com, Tom might not have a tom at tomsroofing.com email. It might just be contact at or support at or something like that. And so this can be really useful if you're just trying to find any email at a company. And a really common use case is if they're a local like blue collar type of business and they're smaller. And then lastly, there's an email verification tool. So if you want to verify emails to see if they're good to email, you can do that in here. And you can also use lists to kind of sort data. So now moving on, I want to show you the Chrome extension. So I'm over here on LinkedIn, and let's say, for example, we have Vibov here from SmartLead. This is the cold email sending tool I use. And so I have the founders page up here. If I want to reach out to Mr. Vibov here from SmartLead, I can install their Chrome extension, which is very easy to install. And I can press find email or find mobile phone number, and that'll let me find that together in one go. I'm not going to press these because I don't want more editing work. But if I want to find someone's email or mobile phone number, you can do that here on an individual basis. And you can also use it inside of Sales Navigator if you want to scrape people via Sales Navigator. I personally don't use the Chrome extension a whole lot because I use Clay and a few of these other tools. And so I'm going to show you that here in a second. But this is useful if you do some manual prospecting work on LinkedIn and you want to grab people's data. I'm going to show you how I like to use it. So I'm going to hop over here into Clay. If you don't know what Clay is, you're probably living under a rock. But basically, Clay is a data tool where you can basically play around with a lot of data in one central platform. And so I'm jumping into Clay here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just scrape a list of people. And then I'm going to use Prospio to kind of fill in the gaps with the data. So inside Clay, I can scrape a big list. And so I'm going to go over here to find people. And I'm just going to scrape a dummy list. So I'm going to find people in the United States. I'm going to find people that have a CEO level job title or C-suite level job title. And then I'm also going to filter for, 10 people. And then I'm going to filter for company attributes. I'm going to do company size of 11 to 50. So small, medium-ish size businesses. And then I'm going to press continue here, and I'm going to import this. I'm actually going to bump this up to 50. I'm going to continue and import this into a new table. So what I just did here was a really basic scrape. You can do this inside of Clay. You can do this inside of Apollo. And you can see here, it already prompts you to try and find emails. Now there's two ways you can find emails using Prospio. So one is that you can tick one of these boxes, and what it'll do is a waterfall. And what a waterfall is not only does it leverage a tool like Prospio, you can see it leverages Lead Magic, Find Email, and a bunch of other data tools. That way you can get maximum amount of data coverage, so you're not just using one platform. Or what I'm going to do here is just use Prospio. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to filter for people that have websites, because if they don't have a website, then you're not going to be able to find someone's email. So I'm going to say their email or company domain is not empty. So people that actually have a company domain. The hit rate should be pretty high here out of this random sample that we scraped here. I'm going to wait a second for it to load. All right, so it looks like all of them actually had domains, which is awesome. And so I'll show you, this is how I like to use Prospio typically, is I'll either export, again, if you're using your CRM, you can export your data from your CRM into Clay. You can upload it directly to Prospio. But I end up doing a lot of enrichments at once usually. So going here into Clay, I can press add enrichment, and then I can just type Prospio in here natively. So I'm going to type Prospio. And what this will allow me to do is, again, search for the data in one place. And so if I want to find all these people's work emails, I can press this, or their mobile phone numbers. I'm going to do work email. One thing that's really nice too, Clay, you can either pay via Clay credits, or you can hook up your Prospio API key, which is what I do. And then I can go over here and it automatically map those two fields for full name and company domain. I can press continue and add to fields, and then I can save and run this 50 times. Now, what Prospio will go do, since I fed it a giant list, is it'll go out and try and find all these people's emails, which is going to be very useful instead of me having to go manually and sift through all these accounts myself. And so I can do this in one click of the button. You can see here it's loading in. And again, I'm going to blur this out here so you don't see all these people's info. But you can see here it had a pretty good hit rate. It looks like it's a little more than 50% of the people. And so I can click in here, and it also shows you the email status. So you can see here, this is a valid email. It also does validation in one step. And so if I want to take this and plug this into another tool, I can do that in one step. Alternatively, what I like to do too is not just leverage Prospio so you can get maximum data coverage. You can go over here and press add enrichment, and I can add other data tools in a waterfall. That way I can get as much data as possible. But I like to use Prospio in my waterfall. That way I can get maximum data coverage. And so you can also leverage additional data tools. I like to think of data as not just like a one-size-fits-all solution. There's a bunch of different providers that you can layer on as well, but Prospio is one of the many that I use in the mix, and it's one of the most frequently used ones so that we can get as much data as possible. And so that's how to use Prospio at a super high level. Again, if you're considering using it, this is how you can use it. If you want to check it out, again, shameless plug, I have an affiliate link. If you want to use that, you get some free extra credits whenever you sign up and do a paid plan. And again, really appreciate you watching this video. If you want to see other videos on this channel talking about cold email, scraping data, and outbound sales as a whole, you can check out the other videos on the channel. Really appreciate you watching this, and hope you have a great rest of your day.